Hi, I'm Allie.
And I'm Becki.
We are registered dietitians that are passionate about functional approaches to whole body health.
In this video, we are going to be talking about how to get out of a keto rut. Whether you've been keto long term and all of a sudden aren't seeing ketone production or are no longer seeing results, or you're new to ketosis but you're not yet making ketones or getting all of the body boosting benefits of ketosis. We'll be sharing our top 3 tips for busting that keto rut and getting back in your groove.
As you may know, we are huge fans of nutritional ketosis. In fact, I've been clinically using a ketogenic diet for over 10 years and running thousands of people through my Food as Medicine ketosis program. The benefits are vast. We know that nutritional ketosis can be the #1 way to actually reverse diabetes. It has a huge influence on lowering blood sugar and insulin levels. Because when you use ketones as fuel, you're burning fat instead of just glucose. That takes you off of the blood sugar roller coaster and creates a stabilized, lower blood sugar response. We also see as a benefit beyond blood sugar control, body fat burn. As you're making ketones and using fat as fuel, there's muscle sparing effects of ketosis, which can maintain your active metabolism, support optimal body composition change, and really aid in driving body fat burn. We see reduced inflammation with nutritional ketosis, and this can reduce aches and pains, all the way to actually improving cognitive health. We see ketones serving as super fuel for your brain. In fact, many individuals see enhanced cognitive function and stabilized mood when using nutritional ketosis. There's less oxidative stress or inflammation in the body when you're in a state of nutritional ketosis, and we can even see benefits of hormone balance.
So a lot of benefits of ketosis, and the list goes on. Let's talk about that first way to get yourself out of a keto rut or even prevent a keto rut in the first place, right? And I think the first thing to acknowledge is the importance of the adrenal glands. So those tiny little adrenal glands, they sit above your kidneys and they are responsible for the production of cortisol, DHEA, as well as certain excitatory neurotransmitters or catecholamines. And so they've got a lot to do, and whether we're on either end of the spectrum, we're stressed and wired or stressed and tired, burned out, that can actually affect your ability to get into and stay into ketosis and get a benefit from those ketones. So cortisol itself is actually a glucocorticoid. So if your cortisol is surging and too high and you're in that like fight or flight, go, go, go mode, you actually can prevent yourself from getting into ketosis in the first place because your blood sugar is going to remain elevated. Now, we can also see excessive cortisol actually driving belly fat storage, which is going to just perpetuate insulin resistance, and we're going to have a hard time losing that fat if it's kind of locked in by stress and your body's just in this survival mode, if you will. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, if you're more kind of stressed and tired, more burned out, oftentimes we come into keto with low DHEA. Now, that DHEA is a precursor to estrogen, testosterone, and it also helps us to produce ketones via the pathway of 7-keto-DHEA. So if you don't have enough DHEA kind of gas in the tank, you won't be able to make or manufacture ketones appropriately. And we look for that DHEA number to be around 150 or higher.
Yes. So when we're thinking of the importance of stress, we don't want to be stressed and wired. We don't want to be stressed and tired. We want to reserve optimal function in those adrenal glands. And the first recommendation is starting with lifestyle support to reduce or mitigate offsetting your lifestyle stressors. So practicing meditation, journaling, gratitude, and prayer are great ways to ensure that you can actually reduce those cortisol surges and help your body to feel safe once again versus in that chronic survival mode. You might also consider grounding, putting your feet on the earth to get that electrical charge reset has been shown to support adrenal function and aid in that adrenal recovery. Or we may gaze at the sunrise or sunset. These red and pink and orange hues actually provide a red light to offset the blue light that we're exposed to daily, which can drive excess dopamine, throwing off those adrenals. Now, if you know that you're someone that's either stressed and wired or stressed and tired, or you've been diagnosed with adrenal dysfunction, we would strongly recommend our stress support bundle. These formulas ensure that you have good resilience to stress, featuring our adaptogen boost, which has cordyceps, rhodiola, and ginseng. This offsets the fatigue and reserves the function of the adrenal glands so they don't have to be that primary responder. Adaptogens help us to literally adapt to the daily stressors that we take on and have a more regulated response. We also have in here our Calm and Clear, which is a foundational formula that has L-theanine to aid in alpha brainwave activity, a complex of B vitamins, as well as nervine and adaptogenic herbs, including compounds such as ashwagandha. And finally, in our stress support bundle, we have GABA Calm, which is the ultimate chill pill. This takes the steam train off the tracks and helps us to get into a safe place, mitigating anxiety, panic, and really helping the body to get into a safe space.
Next up, you might want to actually swap your fat for protein. I know that sounds crazy, especially when we're talking about keto being a high fat diet, but just hear me out. If we are piling on excessive fat, that's going to drive excessive calories, because calories in fat are going to be much more dense than calories in protein or even carbohydrate. But in this instance, we're talking about upping your protein and maybe lowering your grams of fat a little bit so that your body can tap into the deep freezer of stored body fat. If we're looking for active weight loss, we may actually want to adjust that protein dial up to about a gram of protein per pound of body weight. And I would say that's if you're under about 150. Otherwise, you might want to adjust to your ideal body weight. But so for a person who's 130 pounds, let's say 130 grams of protein, and then dialing back your fat accordingly.
We've seen individuals that maybe once had that keto high, or where their appetite was really regulated and had no cravings. All of a sudden, they start to lose that satiety factor. They start to get more hunger, and they start to really increase their intake in the diet. This can happen due to leptin resistance. So leptin is a hormone that actually translates in the Greek language to the word thin. And leptin is made from fat. So when you're first eating a high fat diet, you might get a good surge of leptin. But over time, if you're not losing body fat, just like insulin resistance, we can start to see leptin resistance. If leptin levels come up in the body and we see levels that are elevated in a blood draw, we actually will promote more intermittent fasting and making sure that we lower your grams of fat so that we can lose that body fat and get that leptin sensitivity. This is going to ensure that your sleep quality improves again, you're getting better metabolic outcomes and body fat loss, and you don't have to white knuckle any of those sugar cravings or hunger pangs. You'll create that nice satiety again when you make this shift for higher protein, lower fat. This also might mean if you're doing intermittent fasting that includes a fat-fueled beverage currently, like a keto coffee, that instead you'd be better off doing a protein-sparing fast. This would mean sipping on a mug of bone broth or adding collagen peptides like our naturally nourished pure collagen to an iced tea or warm tea or coffee, and skipping the butter, MCT oil, and even heavy whipping cream.
So speaking of all of that protein that you're going to be nourishing yourself with, one really important amino acid that we see in our protein-rich foods is carnitine. And carnitine deficiency can actually be a hindrance to our ketone production. So carnitine actually is going to drive that fat into the mitochondria to help us make energy from our food. But we won't be able to make and manufacture ketones if we're deficient in carnitine. And this can happen. We can come into a ketogenic diet with carnitine deficiency. Maybe we're not eating a ton of red meat or not meeting our protein goals, or it can happen as kind of a burnout effect of long-term keto, where we had adequate carnitine stores and then we kind of used it all up in that process of producing ketones, and now we're seeing all of a sudden I'm not making ketones anymore, and it's been 2 years or something and I haven't changed anything else.
Yes. So repleting carnitine deficiency can start with a food as medicine approach of eating red meat, ideally grass-fed sources of red meat, at least 4 to 5 times per week. And this would be getting a minimum of a 6-ounce portion per intake. Now, beyond this, like Becki said, if you've been doing keto for a while, you may have created a deficiency or depletion of that building block that aids in the production pathway. This would mean that you would need added supplemental support to correct that carnitine deficiency, get into an optimal range, and start making that high octane ketone fuel again. Check out our Boost and Burn as a #1 supplement in our line to support healthy ketone production. Now, you may have seen products out there like BHB or exogenous ketones, and this gives your body that ketone compound or beta hydroxybutyrate in your bloodstream, which, yes, can reduce inflammation and can help with brain health. But if your body isn't producing ketones from your own fat as fuel, you're not going to get the metabolic results that you'll see when actually supporting on a nutritional level for your body to do the work itself. This is why we're bigger proponents of using L-carnitine supplementation over a BHB or exogenous ketone product. Our Boost and Burn has 2 grams of L-carnitine per serving, along with ribose and pantothenate. This supports your body also in the stress response, as we've seen B5 to be a super vitamin to offset stress influence. In fact, it's even been shown in studies to support healthy hair growth, because we can see hair loss as a side effect of stress or not eating enough protein. So added benefit for our keto population here. And then you're getting that 2-gram dose of L-carnitine. So if you're comparing to capsule products on the market, you may have to take 10 plus capsules to get the amount you'd get in our liquid serving of our Boost and Burn. A serving of Boost and Burn at Rise or as a pre-workout will provide you amplified energy and will ensure that you have that necessary amino acid of carnitine to actually produce ketones.
So if you've found yourself in a keto rut, hopefully these 3 tips give you some areas that you can dig in and start to optimize and see all of those great benefits of ketosis. Now, as functional medicine practitioners, we are constantly taking things next level, looking to get to the root cause of why something's happening or not happening in your body.
Yes, beyond examining stress or ensuring that you're meeting your macros, getting enough protein, or even assessing for micronutrient deficiency, in our 12-week Food as Medicine Ketosis class, we take you into different areas of your body where you may be seeing imbalance. We address leaky gut, dysbiosis or gut bacterial imbalance, estrogen dominance and hormone imbalance in the body. We explore very deeply the HPA axis, or the body's fight or flight stress response feedback system. We explore detoxification pathways and even talk about myths of cardiovascular disease and diabetes and so much more. In order to get that direct engagement with Becki and myself and get that hand-holding, customized experience, be sure to check out the events tab over at Ali Miller RD to join our live 12-week Food as Medicine Ketosis program. We usually offer 2 to 3 sessions per year. And then if you're between seasons or sessions that are offered, you can also check out our archived program. This still has 6-hour-plus classes, all of the customizable handouts and materials, and is $150 less, but doesn't have that direct active engagement. Either way, you're gonna get next level functional medicine approaches paired with a food as medicine approach to nutritional ketosis, and we're sure that you'll see amazing results. Which can also what is my language today? Creating less oxidative stress. What is my problem? Oxidative stress. Take 17. Stress made when your body. Oh my God. Okay.